What's going on, folks? And we're back from our break. Our next guest is a rock star competitive shooter and trainer. Jessica Hook joins us live. What's going on?
Hi, guys.
How you doing?
I'm good. Good to be with you.
Yes. It's always a pleasure. So, you are part of this noir shooting challenge that we have going on in this season of noir, and I personally had a blast doing it. And I think we're close to the last episode. Wait, was this the last episode?
I just watched it.
But
yeah. So you released.
I don't
want to spoil anything, but you did post it online, right?
I haven't posted it. But was this the end of it? Was this the last one?
Yes.
It was? Okay. I'm trying to debate whether or not I want to spoil it. Because I know what happened and you know what happened. So,
and it was so close. If you haven't watched it, you have to watch it. I mean, it was like a nail biter to the very end.
It really was, though. And especially after I threw my little tantrum.
I think they edited that out.
Thank you.
So the audience doesn't even know what went down when the cameras.
Long story short, for those of you who don't know, because I think they did. I'm pretty sure they edited it out. And I'm not going to tell you who ended up winning. However, I don't like losing.
There was a lot of bitterness. There was like, what also was edited out was a little bit of confusion that happened in real life at the very end, where we really didn't know one way or the other which way it went.
And that's the awesome thing about that, because I know a lot of people are like, well, we know from the beginning. No, we legitimately had no clue, because there was like some discrepancies about time and points, and I was sitting there throwing my temper tantrum, doing all of this stuff, and then I don't know.
We had to bring some bipartisan referees in to review the video, and
even then I was like, no, let's recount it.
Yeah, he demanded a recount, and we did.
If I was somebody who didn't know what happened and hadn't watched the episode yet, I don't know if they even still know what happened or who won or who lost yet. So I think we did a pretty good job in that regard. But no, it was freaking. I had a blast personally. It was 2 full days of shooting, and setting up the courses and shooting and coming up with creative courses to put together on Terrence's piece of land, which was awesome, by the way. And for you, what was your favorite moment during that competition?
Thinking I won. Honestly, that was like the best moment of my life, which the audience doesn't know what I'm talking about. But for a second, I really thought that I had done better than I had ever done in my entire life. And I was like, this is what it feels like to be a winner.
Hey, as long as you
this is what it feels like.
As long as you get the experience for the moment, that's all that really counts. That's all that really counts. Who cares how you get there, right?
You can't take that away from me.
I'm trying to think what my absolute favorite moment during the competition. You know what? I think it was watching. Man, you know what? During my temper tantrum. It was a stress reliever, because the whole time it was so close, and then it was just kind of like I got to let out all of this nervous energy, even though I still didn't know at the time who won. But I got to let out this nervous energy and basically destroy every friendship that I just cultivated over the course of 2 days at this thing, and being able to give that out was kind of relieving.
You know what? Okay, so the last time I was on this show, you asked me if I had a preference who I would choose as my partner, whether it was you or Lasort. And I lied and said I didn't have a preference, because the truth is I would have chosen Corinne. I would have chosen Corinne to be my partner.
That is messed up. Look, you know what? I'm just gonna chalk it up to the fact that this girls and the traveling pants of Yaya kind of unity movement thing going on here. That's what I'm going to chalk that up to, because I honestly, I'm not gonna lie though, for a second there I thought you were going to say me. I was kind of holding back my smile a little bit. I was like, oh, she's going to say it was me. I was like, oh. And then I was going to get a text message from Lasort cussing me out. So now from a competition shooting standpoint, how did you get into that? Like for a lot of people, it's kind of like the whole idea and the concept of becoming a competition shooter. It's foreign to them. What was your journey like?
My story is a little bit different because I literally had no one, not one single person I knew in competition. I had to start on my own. I used Google to find my range. Most people will have like a friend, a buddy, brother, dad, boyfriend, husband who brings them to the range and like indoctrinates them, tells them the rules and shows them the ropes. But I learned from scratch, from nothing. And I just immediately made friends, and the community is so supportive that everybody just like adopted me and like made me their shooting buddy. And like, you know, they watched out for me. They helped me out. They educated me. And, so for me, I didn't have any friends before, and then I just immediately made 60 new friends on my first day at the range.
Man, I keep telling people all the time, man, like when you go out to these types of competitions or shoot, like when I was doing IDPA, I pretty much did it the same way you did. I just grew tired of shooting at standing ranges. So I was like, if I don't find a way to shoot and move at the same time, I'm going to go crazy. So I found out about IDPA, and so I went ahead and I searched online like you did. I Googled just different ranges that I could go to. I found a competition that was close, and went out there, and the exact same experience that you had, I had. Instantly made just a great people, and you know, they treated you like they've known you your whole life. And even when you're doing terrible, they didn't even make fun of me. You know, because I was bad.
And what's interesting is there's like this stereotype that it's just like some backdoor rednecks at the range or whatever. And the range, I mean, it was full of doctors, lawyers, Silicon Valley, startup entrepreneurs. It was teachers, every walk of life was represented there. Yep. And
now I will say this though, man, the actual real rednecks get a bad break, man. Everybody uses them to explain how things are not. And it's like, I've met some pretty damn cool rednecks, to be honest with you. But no, you're right, though. There's a level of diversity out in these places that I think goes it's underreported, you know? And I mean, look at you. Like, no one's going to look at you and say, oh, she's definitely a competition. Like, I mean, like, tell me, like, in your life, when you go, like, when people ask you, what do you do? What do you tell them?
I'm an artist and I'm a competitive shooter.
And so, what's the reaction usually whenever you do that? Like when they're a competitive shooter, they're like,
yeah, they're like, explain that. Like, what's the? How did you get from one to the other? Because it's like in the art community, I went to art school in California, very liberal, very like anti-gun. But now that I've seen both sides, people don't really realize why they're anti-gun. They just hear these messages on TV, but they never really stop to think about it because they're, you know what I mean? It's just like one of those things. And so now it's like, I feel like my news feed, it's terrible. Like I have to stay off ever since the election. Like I literally see both sides, liberal propaganda, right-wing propaganda. And for every one negative story, there's another negative story on the other side. And I know they don't see each other's stories in their news feeds because I'm like right in the middle where I've got everybody.
And it's
everybody's garbage.
The funny thing is I'm the same way. Like I have so many people, so many friends in my life who don't really understand why I do what I do or how I feel the way I feel or why I hold it in such a high regard. And then like you know, so I'm getting double perspectives. I'm in this awesome community that's incredibly pro-gun. And then, you know, I have this other aspect of my life with, you know, where people are largely kind of either apathetic or just anti. And so then I'm kind of stuck in the middle getting spit on by both sides of this. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to do right now. I like you guys and I like you guys over here too. And, you know, but in many ways, what I found myself doing is kind of serving as that bridge. Between both of the worlds, and I try to utilize that as much as possible, just because, you know, like you're right, a lot of people on one side or the other, they don't see each other's feeds, or you know, or their perspective from that regard. So yeah, that's pretty neat the way you kind of are an artist and then also big into the gun thing. But it actually makes a lot more sense in my mind. Like it doesn't seem that foreign to me. I envision people who are in the arts as being really incredibly open-minded, not really too quick to shut things off that they don't completely understand, like just really embracing of the unknown. So when you tell me you're an artist and then you're also a competitive shooter, in my mind it goes, yeah, that makes sense. You know. But
it's really cool. I mean, I think there's, a lot of parallels between learning art and learning any skill that you have to practice. And then you will so naturally fall into the skill building in competition shooting.
Yeah.
If you've ever done daily practice, if you've ever been interested in art and looking at, watching videos, I mean, now I'm just watching shooting videos. I mean, it's the same habits.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it really is.
Actually, no, I'm spending more money with shooting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
than with art supplies.
Speaking of money, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about the state of the gun industry when it comes to women in the retail space. So.
All right.